this new product AppNet, the Istio architecture, the control plane, the brain part of it, now is going to be managed by Microsoft and Azure.
What about the data plane, right?
In this new AppNet, we're switching to use this new ambient mode of Istio. Put it simply, there will be no sidecar anymore.
Hey folks, welcome to another edition of AKS Anything. I'm very happy to present a lot of the things that have been going on over the past 6 months. And today I'm glad to be here with Jack, who's going to kick off our third season for AKS Anything. How about we start a little bit by finding out a bit of what you do. So what do you do in the AKS team?
Sure. Thanks, George, for having me. My name's Jack. I'm currently leading the AKS networking space, specifically the Swiss Mesh projects.
Very good. So when you say service mesh projects, what does that entail typically?
So it's been quite a while now. AKS actually has this official support of Istio project. Mm-hmm. We have at this point a few thousands of customer clusters running Istio, managed by us, installed in the customer clusters. Now at this point we're building a new product, still in the Istio domain, mm-hmm. but we'll make it more managed, much easier to use, and we'll support new features in the from the upstream Istio as well. Very,
very good. And so tell us a little bit about what the team's been working on recently. I've heard that we launched something fairly new in this space, and maybe folks would like to know a bit more about what the differences are. So as you said, we've had the Istio add-on for quite some time at this point. And we've launched something new called Application Networking, which is also Istio-based.
Yes.
So talk to us a bit about that.
Oh, absolutely. So the new product we're building is, the official name is Azure Kubernetes Application Network.
Very good.
And for simplicity purpose, we call it AppNet.
Okay,
right?
AppNet.
So comparing with the existing Istio add-on, the major difference, the Istio add-on is, as we call it, add-on to your cluster. Mm-hmm. When you enable it, we install stuff into your cluster. It's running there, it's working fine for that cluster. This new product, AppNet, we call it managed, more managed service. Okay. In a way that, for example, if you know the Istio architecture, the control plane, the brain part of it, now is going to be managed by Microsoft and Azure, running in the managed infrastructure. So from customer point of view, you don't even see where the Istio brain is. Your cluster, the traffic, everything Istio would just work.
Got it. So in the past, with the add-on, we would install every Istio component in the user cluster.
Yes.
And you'd see everything. Then we would take care of lifecycle, etc. But they would all reside on the user cluster.
Yes.
With AppNet, one of the key differences is that the control plane is not there. It's fully managed and away from what the user can see. So we take care of all its lifecycle and beyond. What about what we typically call the data plane, right? Because Istio used to use things like sidecars in your pods. How does that work now?
Perfect question. So in the Istio add-on, this is we call the traditional sidecar mode. Mm-hmm. So when your workload is living in the mesh, your workload has this sidecar based on this technology called Envoy. Mm-hmm. And that's like a one-to-one map. There's overhead, there's operational burden you have to handle whenever you wanted to release a new version, patch, and things like that. You probably need to restart your workload for them to take effect. In this new AppNet, then we're switching to use this new ambient mode of Istio. So put it simply, there will be no sidecar anymore. So your workload will just work in the mesh, but without any sidecar to your workload. And that's, I guess, how the name ambient was from, right? Instead of a sidecar Envoy, the ambient mode of Istio will use a node agent called ztunnel, zero trust tunnel. It's a per node agent, and your workload traffic will be redirected to the node agent, and the node agent across the entire network will be able to talk to each other and to just transit your pod traffic.
Okay, so in the past, every pod would have this little helper, a sidecar, that was doing that, and then the sidecars would talk to each other. They would just intercept that traffic. And now the difference is we have this zero trust tunnel, this Z tunnel node agent, and a lot of those tasks are now performed at the node level, but there's no sidecars required whatsoever from the pod perspective.
There will be no sidecar required. So this memory resource footprint is gone, and the operational burden is gone. So it's the Z tunnel. Actually, in the AppNet, we have two modes of in terms of upgrading. So when we keep upgrading, releasing new version, new patches of the software, and you can pick that the entire data plane, for example, this Z tunnel, and we haven't talked about it, but Z tunnel is L4 mostly. And if you have L7 layer of requirements, we also have a so-called waypoint proxies that running for you. So if you pick the option of fully managed, when a new version match is released, we actually just upgrade the software and reboot the software for your data plane, and your workload will just keep working. That's one mode. And there's also self-management mode. And you can decide to, not right now, but later, then I will just upgrade to the latest version as well. Some of the customers, they care about the maintenance window and things like that. We also support that.
Very good. So because there's this component, we have a fully managed kind of lifecycle mode where we'll take care of restarting every nitty-gritty component, and the workloads will keep working. But we also will offer the customer the opportunity to select their maintenance window, even for the things that essentially touch their data plane still. So in a way, even the data plane has a fully managed option now with AppNet, not just the control plane, but in the data plane, and there's still that control over selecting how the upgrade happens and when it hits your workloads. Very cool. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So is this how how do I get started with this? What is a great way for me to get started?
So this is it's the right now. So we'll be based on the error command line, right? And then you start create a AppNet resource. Right, through the ARM RESTful API, but through command line. And later when we GA, we'll provide support for Terraform and things like that. And then you'll pick your AKS cluster, and then you join the AKS cluster, the member cluster, into the AppNet resource through either command line or the RESTful API or Terraform.
So essentially, you can have multiple clusters, and you add all of them into that essential connectivity, into that mesh. Right?
Yes. And then automatically we'll have the respective control plane, the Istio brain part of it, launched on the manager side of the infrastructure, and then connect the data plane to the control plane. And this also implies another big difference between the mesh add-on and the AppNet. In the mesh add-on, the mesh is for that AKS cluster. In this AppNet, that basically means you can join multiple member clusters into the AppNet. That also means that if you have traffic that you need to manage across multiple different member clusters, now you can do.
Very good. Very good. So does it support pretty much all the Istio functionality, or is there any differences to be aware of now? And it's currently in public preview. We're walking towards GA. Is that right?
Yes. Right now it's in the public preview mode, and we're aiming to get to GA at the end of the year. Yeah, it's pretty much all the upstream Istio features is supported, but it's more managed. And in some few cases, we control it in more tighter way for just more reliability and manageability purpose.
And can I use it with my existing ingresses and gateways? How does that work in terms of the ingress pieces?
Perfect question. So today you can in this current AppNet public preview, you can already using the typical Istio ingress gateway with the full gateway API support.
Good.
And in addition to that, you can actually use the gateway API for the multiple cluster already. So let's say you set up an ingress gateway in cluster A, and one of the HTTP routes, the backend lives in cluster B. The traffic can automatically go to the cluster B already.
Of course, because it's part of the mesh already. Yes. So technically, even though it lands there, wherever the gateway is, it will route to whatever cluster that is. Very good. And so that gateway today, will I have multiple replicas in the different clusters, or will I pick a cluster to have the gateway?
So for the time being, it will be in that cluster. Then you can, of course, scale it out with multiple replicas, but still in that cluster. At some point, we'll introduce even more managed ingress gateway. I don't want to spoil the audience, but eventually you probably will now see even the proxy software running in the cluster.
Of course, continuing to bring more of that bringing more of that management, and continuing to get more of the operational piece into the AKS plane. That's pretty good. So we're already going into that what's next type of area. So I'd like to end up with that in all conversations. What are you most excited about? What's coming next for AppNet and for your team?
Apparently, the most excited part is the next milestone, the GA part. We're now full steam ahead to polish every corner of the features and iron out all those little issues. And we have a lot of customers already start to use it and giving us feedback. And we're addressing all those issues and harden the functionality to get to the production grade quality. So that's the most exciting part for the next. But like I said a little earlier, then post GA, we already have things in our mind to build out, and it will be making the managed AppNet experience even more managed. And the customer, many of the customer, our audience is the platform engineer. Their life will be much easier because the managed aspects of this new service.
Very, very cool. That's pretty exciting. I guess for all of our audience, if you want to see a demo of AppNet at work, you can check it at aka.ms/AKS/AppNet demo, and you're going to be able to see everything that you can do with AppNet and all its different functionality and different features. Check it out if you're interested about it. We'll have a link in both the description as well as in the video for all of you that want to check it out. Thank you, Jack, for coming in. I'm looking forward for all the updates on AppNet moving forward. And for all of you, thanks for watching another AKS Me Anything. Really appreciate you tagging along and joining us for its third season. As always, like, subscribe, and check all the podcasts at YouTube or at your favorite streaming platform, such as Apple or Spotify. Take care. Bye-bye.